Whew. Welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about the Canon R3. This is Canon's best mirrorless camera that has come out to date, coming out. They've kind of already announced it, sort of, but it's not been released, but kind of. Some creators have it. I don't have one personally in hand. I do have a couple insights that I want to share with you guys though about this camera, because if it's anything like the R5 last year, was announced in July, I believe, of 2020. I think I got an order in sometime within like a month of that announcement, maybe 6 weeks of that announcement. I did not get this camera until the first week of December, I think, which is mind-boggling. So if the R3 is anything like that, if you actually want to see the R3 in 2021 when it's supposed to be available, you may have to put it in an order day one just to hopefully get it by the end of the year. If not, you're going to be using a new camera in 2022, which isn't bad. These bodies typically hold their value and their feature set is good for at least 5 years. The reason why I want to talk about it is because there are 3 features that I think are going to make this camera the camera to get out of Canon's lineup of cameras, even though Canon, I think, is making some incredible mirrorless cameras right now. And then I have 3 questions, sort of 3 insights to features that I don't think we fully understand yet, and may not even understand until after these cameras get into the hands of more creators, more photographers and videographers who are interested in using the camera in different ways. We're going to talk about those. And finally, I want to talk about who is this camera actually for, because as Canon said, this is not meant or intended to replace the 1DX Mark II. The Canon EOS R5 and R6 have been out now for about a year, and those are still great, amazing cameras. And then for people who are still hanging on to the old 1DX Mark II, maybe a 5D Mark IV, Mark III, is this the camera that you want to move to? Is this the camera is this the body that is going to best serve your needs? So the 3 things that are new on this camera, that are new at least to the RF line. But the first thing that we're going to see with the R3 is a backside illuminated sensor. And this is actually going to pair, I think, really well with a lower megapixel sensor and that 24 megapixel sensor that we know is going to be in the R3. This is going to make low light performance incredible, absolutely incredible for the Canon R3. It's going to probably be far and away the best performing low light camera. The second feature I want to talk about is that weatherproof housing that's coming with the R3. We haven't seen this yet with like the R5, R6 bodies, and especially the previous like RP and R bodies. These are more of these like hybrid shooter bodies. They aren't necessarily made to go out into the elements and be pushed like in rain and sleet and all the stuff that the L series glass lineup is made for. Now, for me personally, as someone who does the vast majority of their photography work out in the forest, in the snow, and the rain, I'm really excited about this. Having a camera that I know I can beat up, take out into the elements, and not have to worry about like throwing a rain fly on, that's huge for me. That's something that puts my camera into more places with me with more ease of use, and I'm not worried about it giving out on me. So that's weather sealed body. I'm pumped on that. And finally, this electronic shutter shooting speed of 30 frames a second, shooting stills, that's gonna be incredible. That's 10 frames faster a second than the 1DX Mark III. It's 10 frames a second faster than the Canon EOS R5, which shoots at about 20-ish frames a second on electronic shutter. And it'll probably be able to shoot longer. It's got a bigger battery. It's gonna use those CFast Express cards, Type B, I think. Oh, what a name. What a name, people. But with those types of readouts onto those cards, shooting continuous and loading up hundreds of shots in a mere matter of seconds means that you're probably gonna be able to shoot anything. Fast moving, whether you're shooting vehicles, birds, stuff that's just really hard to capture. I know for me, when we were out shooting the Seattle Trilogy vlog, doing the helicopter ride, I kept thinking to myself, man, this is one of those situations where I wish I could be shooting even faster than the continuous shooting that I am doing. And I'm still pulling out great shots, but you know, when you're up in a helicopter, that costs a lot of money to be in, and it's not something you're gonna be able to do every day, and you're whipping across a city trying to get different angles and shots of buildings and landscapes and all the stuff that's going on around you. You want to be able to take as many shots as possible, as fast as possible. So that will be a really welcome feature. So those are 3 new features that are coming. There's plenty more with the R3, but those are the ones that I'm most excited about. Now let's talk about some features that we don't really still have a lot of clarity around. Hopefully we'll get some clarity, and if we do, I'll update down below. Here are the things that I want to see on the Canon EOS R3, and if they are there, I probably will move forward in getting it. The first one is being able to remove record limits. The 1DX line has not done this. The R5 and the R6 haven't done this. I've been on this channel saying before, I haven't been able to overheat the R5. The thing that I was running into is filling cards. I have since gotten a bigger card for this, a 512 gigabyte CF Type-C Express card or whatever. I don't know, these names are insane. But I haven't been able to overheat the R5. What I usually run up against is record times. On most of these cameras, they have a record limit of about 30 minutes to comply with some arcane law, archaic, just something from a time gone by, let's put it that way. And I know Canon probably doesn't want to have products fighting each other for certain spots. You know, if the 1DX Mark III or the R3 or even the R5 could shoot continuously, maybe that would put some downward pressure on sales of their cinema cameras, but I would kind of like to see that in something like the R3. And here's why. Those cinema cameras are not the same build and weather toughness. It's a different package, and I think having those record limits removed on the R3 makes sense. Do it, Canon. I don't think they've announced it yet, or I think it's something they could even remove in a software update later, but if those record limits were removed, that would be a big thing for me, going out there and knowing that I can just kind of lock off a shot somewhere and shoot for an hour, shooting interviews, things like that. Outside. That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty awesome. So remove the 30-minute record limit, Canon. Yes, that is, that's kind of feature number one that I would like to see. Feature number two is Wi-Fi 6 support. I'm on a Wi-Fi 6 kick. I have Wi-Fi 6. You can actually see the base station right there. It's one of my repeaters. I have the main one out in the living room. Wi-Fi 6 is amazing for data throughput and just transferring large files, which if you're shooting 4K, if you're shooting high-res photos, 10-bit, 12-bit color depth, all of that stuff takes a lot of space and it can take a long time to transfer. At this point, the Canon R3 is more than likely going to support 5 gigahertz frequencies, but we're not sure if they're going to support the Wi-Fi 6 spec, which would allow for huge amounts of bandwidth. And it'd be really nice to just have my camera turned on and browsing through photos that I took from a set on my phone. Maybe start importing some of those into Lightroom, have them sync over to my main rig for editing when I'm ready to go. I like having that flexibility, and I think that's really important, especially if you're trying to share photos with someone else, if you're second shooting for someone, and you just wanna say, hey, I'm gonna throw my camera on your network, have your laptop download them all real quick and do it super fast. That would be cool, especially if you don't have card readers ready, all this other stuff. I mean, we want Wi-Fi 6 on everything. I'm over here, I think we need Wi-Fi 6 on everything. So the Canon EOS R3 has Wi-Fi 6. I think that'll be another huge win for it, and something that would convince me that, yeah, this is the next body to get for my kit. Finally is the accessory shoe. Now this is, we don't know what this is, actually, to be honest. I don't think Canon's even announced any accessories that are meant for this new accessory shoe. It's replacing kind of the hot shoe. We believe it's gonna be backwards compatible with flashes and other hot shoe standard type accessories, but for right now, we really don't know a lot about this new accessory shoe. Hopefully it'll enable some things like microphones and things like that. Right now, that's not a big seller for me. Now, if Canon maybe did a collaboration with Rode or someone else and made an awesome on-camera mic, I use the Rode Video Mic Pro, if I didn't have to plug that mic in over an auxiliary jack, that would be pretty cool. That would be awesome. That would help me out when I'm out shooting, doing stuff, because I don't like cables. I don't want cables if I don't have to have them. I know Sony's already got a solution in this camp that looks pretty cool. I haven't tried it out myself yet, but if I can get away from using cables and still have that same quality, I'll take it. That sounds awesome. So those are 3 features now that if we get more clarity on that, if we have more insight there from Canon, I think those are 3 more features that can make this body a really powerful argument for one of the best camera bodies, if not the camera body you should have in your kit, regardless of what you're shooting, I think. But then that begs the question, that brings us to this place, which is, who is this like, who is this body for? And I have some thoughts on that. I honestly think this body is mostly just Canon trying to show that they can do something in this space, but it's not the R1. They haven't come out and said this is a replacement for the 1DX Mark III. The R5 was already kind of the successor to the 5D Mark IV. So who is this camera for? Like I said, with the 1DX Mark III, even though the R3 is not supposed to replace the 1DX Mark III, I'd be really curious to see who already out there has been shooting on a 1DX Mark II or 1DX Mark III and is considering an upgrade to the R3, at least this generation, this version of it, and why. Yes, an RF mount would be huge, but battery's gonna be probably the same. You will get more stills per second out of the R3, and it is gonna be a better sensor, slight bump in megapixels, but the quality of those pixels being backside illuminated, quad pixel AF, I mean, that's a huge upgrade for the sensor there. But the 1DX Mark III just came out, what, a year and a half ago? So if you already have a 1DX Mark III, are you looking to make an upgrade this early in your kit cycle for your bodies? I don't know. And if you're on a 1DX Mark II, do you wait around then? If you've already been waiting around to go with, you know, a hypothetical, a mythical R1 sometime in the future, again, I don't know. If you're a 1D shooter, 1DX Mark II, Mark III, please leave a comment down below what you're thinking of doing, because for me, that would put me in a very difficult position. As someone who already has a Canon R5 and an EOS R in the house, I have been looking at getting a second body for shooting. Just when I'm out and about, I would love to be able to record video while I'm taking photos and just sort of lock off on a tripod and have that sort of B-roll sequence shot. That would be super helpful for providing you guys more insights when I'm out shooting, doing things, and then wanting to bring that footage in here from those shoots. If you've already purchased an R5 or an R6, are you looking to make a second body purchase with the R3 for whatever it is you're doing? And anyone who owns a Canon body already, please leave a comment down below if you are interested in the R3 and why, and kind of where you are in your upgrade cycle, because I think for a lot of people who have bought the R5, I know for me, it's blown away my expectations and what I could do with it. Like I said, I shoot all of my video for this channel on the R5 now. All my still shooting, everything that I do out in the world is on the R5. And there's a few situations now where I would say I need an R3. Obviously when the weather gets bad up here in the Pacific Northwest where I'm located, it'd be really nice to have, but especially during the summer months, it's very easy to just go out and about with the R5. No worries, no questions asked. And then sort of this third category is if you're coming from another platform like Sony or Fuji, Nikon, is the R3 compelling enough to bring people over from other systems? And I don't think it is. I mean, the Sony A1's a pretty incredible camera for its size, and it is about the same price as a 1DX Mark III. So maybe you're not winning over anyone over there. The Fuji GFX 100, which is a medium format body camera, I mean, that's a whole nother type of beast. I don't think the R3 is really slotting in with that at all. Personally, I think if Canon delivers on all the features that they're saying with the R3, along with us getting some clarity about record limits, Wi-Fi 6, and what this accessory shoe is really gonna do, I could see myself going with it because of that weather sealing, because of the native RF mount, that new sensor, and just having longer battery life and not having to switch out batteries as much. I could see it. I could see myself moving in that direction. But for most people, I don't know, it's hard to say. Again, if you're a Canon shooter, please leave a comment down below with what body you're shooting with and how long you've had it. And if you're considering an upgrade to the R3, or if you're looking to have that body in your kit, let me know down in the comments below what you think. What's your feature that you care about the most? With that said, thank you all so much for watching. My name is Stephen Foster. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, and if you have, I want to let you all know that I'm honored by you. We hit 1,000 subs just this past week. That's pretty wild, so thank you to all of you. You guys are the best. Please be kind, both in life and in the comments below, and like this video to send good vibes across the internet, and we will do it again soon.